So, folks, we have been told that the SAVE Act is incredibly necessary. Donald Trump gave a specific speech talking about how, hey, we need the SAVE Act because otherwise American democracy will fall apart. And obviously, we need to pass a bunch of legislative initiatives that were designed solely to benefit the Republican Party. And we know that because they were designed by lobbying think tanks working with the Republican Party in the 90s. But, we need to pass this slate now because there is an overwhelming amount of evidence that, China interfered in the 2020 elections 6 years ago. And, well, let's just take a quick look here. Here's Steve Scalise, all right, talking about why you need the SAVE Act now. We need to pass it now.
Show and picture ID to vote. Not a complicated subject. Again, anybody that gets on an airplane has to show a picture ID to vote. Nowadays, if you want to go to Olive Garden and get unlimited pasta, you got to show a picture ID. This isn't complicated stuff, yet every Democrat is against these basic things. Why? The only reason you can be against that is if you want voter fraud.
Now, of course, number one, the reason you should be against photo ID laws is because you have a constitutional right to vote in this country. Number one. You don't have a constitutional right to an Olive Garden all-you-can-eat noodle bowl. All right? Number two, by the way, Republicans think that this is brilliant. Republicans have been talking nonstop about, like, oh, you need to show photo ID to, like, for Olive Garden bowls. And it's just like, what? Number one, I have never heard of anyone needing to show an ID for Olive Garden, unless I guess they're ordering alcohol. But I guess what they're going off of is the fact that Olive Garden put together a, like, bottomless bowl, like bottomless breadstick, bottomless noodle bowl passport that you could put, like, the little card that says you bought, like, the bottomless bowl pass or whatever. And it, like, puts it into, like, a little thing that you can just, like, open and show, like, your waiter or whatever. I gotta be honest, it's kind of cute for Olive Garden to do this. Like, it's not, like, the whole messaging from the GOP right now is not any reflection in any negative way on Olive Garden. This isn't an ad for Olive Garden either. But I also want to point out something that's very, very important, which is that the reason people don't want photo ID laws when it comes to voting is because it's known that it reduces voter turnout. And very specifically, it reduces black voter turnout. Because overwhelmingly, the people who are affected by the hurdles to get photo ID are African Americans. And this was known back in the day, back in the 1980s, 90s, and that's why lobbying groups for the private prison, industrial complex specifically have been fighting for the past 30, almost 40 years to try and make this a thing. This is a talking point given to the GOP by private prisons who want to make it easier to imprison people for nonviolent offenses because that's who they love filling their prisons with, because it means less work for them to keep people imprisoned, right? Now, the other thing that I think is really important is that despite the talking points to the contrary, you can't just show a photo ID and have that be sufficient for the SAVE Act. That's not how the SAVE Act works. And this is something that I think a lot of conservatives don't really understand, which is that, oh, wait, it's not just a photo ID law, because guess what? The SAVE Act requires you to prove your citizenship. And your driver's license doesn't prove your citizenship. Your hyper secure, real ID, all that thing you jumped through loop after loop after loop to get to, that thing that's supposed to be hyper secure, it does not, in fact, prove that you're a citizen. So what that means is, it's not just bringing your photo ID to the Olive Garden. It's bringing your photo ID and your verified birth certificate. Like it's bringing multiple documents in order to prove this. Nobody's doing that at Olive Garden. Not a single goddamn person. And all of this, we are told, is being done because, oh, well, foreign nations wanted to interfere with our elections. And, you know, our elections were so insecure. Who knows how many people voted in 2020? And specifically, it's, oh no, China interfered in the 2020 election. China's been interfering the entire time. Fear China. You know, China's so scary and so antagonistic towards our elections. It's so important. China, China, China.
Talked a lot about that.
Was there disagreement on election interference?
We didn't discuss that topic.
Oh, it's such an important issue that you didn't talk about it at all. It was so important that you didn't talk about it at all. Like, that's crazy. It was like, it's such an existential threat to the United States that you know, we're just not going to talk about it. No, we didn't even bring it up.
Of course.
Like, it's truly, we truly live in a time of madness where the people who are in charge of the entire shebang they aren't even trying to conceal their lies anymore. They know it. Like, they're running off of pure inertia right now. They got going really fast, and they're just going. They're going for it as hard as they can. I don't think it will be enough to actually compromise our elections. I don't think it will be enough to get the SAVE Act through the Senate. But it is truly a situation here where they're not even trying to sell the lie anymore. If there's a government-issued photo ID that also indicates you're a citizen, it indicates you're a citizen. It is not proof of citizenship. Government-issued photo IDs are not universal proof of citizenship. And we know that because if you've been in a city under ICE occupation, you will know that they're gonna take you whether you have a driver's license that is enhanced or has real ID on it or whatever. They don't give a shit. If you get a passport, but you need your birth certificate or your passport. Those are basically the only two things. It's truly bullshit. And anyway, I know, and I know this all sounds like a broken record. I know this all sounds like, oh no, oh no, we've heard all of this before. But you have to keep saying it. You have to keep hearing it. You have to keep knowing that it's not okay. Because unfortunately, we human beings have a tendency to keep hearing lies over and over and over again and start thinking, maybe they are true. It's gaslighting on a national scale. And we need to maintain our vigilance. You need your birth certificate to get to get your passport, just a poll tax. I mean, it is a poll tax under a different name. Right? And poll taxes are unconstitutional. They are trying to, by the way, they are trying to pass the SAVE Act as a part of the reconciliation package. I believe it just got through the House. And basically what they're trying to do is say, we have $10 billion set aside in additional funding for states that adopt the SAVE Act requirements. So they're trying to bribe states into doing this. And this is, by the way, a very bad idea. It's a bad idea that is going to backfire for conservatives because folks in conservative states, specifically MAGA folks in conservative states, they don't have the right paperwork for the SAVE Act either. This is not going to go well. And we know this because Republican states have tried to do the SAVE Act shit in other places at other times, and it has fucked them. So, like, this is not going to go anywhere good for the GOP, even if some of them haven't realized it yet. Anyway, if you got anything out of this, folks, I do encourage you, share it around, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, let me know what you think. about the secret Chinese plot to steal the 2020 election for Joe Biden, but not any of the House or the Senate or any of that. Let me know what you think about it. It was so important. We needed a national address from the president about it, but Marco Rubio didn't even bring it up. Anyway, let me know what you think, and also join your local Dems, join your local DSA, get involved in your local political scene, because it's very, very important for you to actually be a part of it. It is important to shape your local political conditions, because it builds power for the wider movement too. So, if you need help doing that, join our Discord, reach out to GamerG for help with DSA, reach out to Dragonfly for help with your local Dems, and last but not least, folks, check out ImogeneOlivia.com, gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes, tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. It is comfortable, sexy, non-tucking lingerie. We just got a full restock, added 2 new sizes, and there's a new color. So go check it out, ImogeneOlivia.com, and link down in the doobly-doo. Let's keep on going.
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube and swishy streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, gaming, and plenty more. Your sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat Jack.